Hey everyone. So today we're going to talk about money confidence. We're going to tackle a huge myth that has probably held you back at some point in your life. And that is the idea that confidence is something that you're either born with or you're not. That is just not true. What we're going to talk about today will change how you think about your money confidence. Hi, I'm Stephanie, her money coach. Welcome back to her Money Mindset Show. If this is your first visit, welcome. We're so glad to have you. And today we're going to learn the mind-blowing truth that confidence isn't a feeling. It's not some magical state that you have to wait for. It's actually something more practical, and this will change everything. My mentor, Mel Robbins, gives an example of confidence that is really helpful for me to understand these facts. And how she defines confidence is the willingness to try. That's it. Being confident just means trying. It's not a feeling. You don't have to wait for it. It's just a willingness to take action. So confidence isn't a feeling, it's an action. Think about that. If indeed confidence is just their willingness to try, then anyone, any of us, can do that and build that skill. And here's why confidence matters, because research says that confidence impacts every single area of our lives, in our workplace, in our relationships, in everything. It goes way beyond money. A study in the University of Melbourne tracked people over 20 years, and they found that confidence was a stronger predictor of success than competence in any area. Think about that. If everyone knew that it was just a willingness to put themselves out there, a willingness to try that made the difference, we would all be taking action instead of waiting to feel like we're ready. Another fascinating research paper that came out in the American Psychological Association found that confident people are not just more successful, they're more resilient, meaning when they face a setback, confident individuals are 3 times more likely to try again. They don't just give up because they know that failure isn't permanent. Failure is just learning. And here's what most of us get wrong about confidence. We think it's kind of mysterious. We think that you're born with it, like blue eyes or brown eyes, but it's actually a skill, like learning to drive, to cook, or to walk. And if it's a skill, then we can all learn it, get better at it, practice it. So let me compare this to something we all are familiar with, and that's walking, learning to walk. None of us waited until we felt confident to take that first step. We just tried, fell down, got up, tried again. That is exactly what true confidence is. It's not about feeling ready or certain. It's about just being willing to take that first wobbly step. If you redefine confidence as simply the willingness to try, you're taking away all the pressure of needing to feel a certain way. You do not need to feel confident to act confidently. In fact, some of the most successful people in the world admit to feeling scared or uncertain, but they don't let those feelings stop them from taking action. That's the big differentiator. This should be freeing to all of us because it puts control back in our court. We aren't waiting for how to feel a certain way. We can just try and take action. There is a concept that was created by social psychologists called Confidence-Competence Loop. And let me break that down. Our belief in our abilities isn't fixed, meaning it can change. And it's built on 4 specific channels. It's built on our actual experiences. It's built on watching others. It's built on verbal encouragement. And it's built on managing our emotional state. And I talk about this managing our emotional state all the time when I talk about the fact that our thoughts, our sentences in our head is what is creating our feelings and our emotional state. And those feelings are what generates us to take actions, and the actions generate our results. And that is this loop to managing our emotional state. One study tracked people that were learning new skills and found that those people who took immediate action, even without minimal knowledge, progressed faster than those who spent time studying. The researchers call this the do learn versus the learn do approach. And neuroscience tells us that by taking action and attempting something, you're creating new neural pathways in your brain. And these pathways get stronger with each attempt. So every time you try, whether you fail or not, your neural pathways get stronger. Your brain is literally rewiring itself through taking action, not by getting more information and waiting to feel ready. In software development, we call this idea of iterating. And what we mean is we're going to put out the minimal viable product, meaning the littlest piece of software out to the market so that customers can try it and we can get feedback, and then we can iterate and try again, get more feedback, iterate, try again. And this iteration process is really what we're talking about, where we're trying things and we're learning things and we're bringing it back and trying other things, and it just evolves into more and more. It turns out that those challenging moments in our life, those are the times when we actually build the most confidence, because we are kind of knocked down and then we learn and it builds on each other, just like I talked about. I experienced this when I walked away from my franchise business. At first, things weren't working out like I thought. And that voice crept in like, you're a failure, I'm a failure. But growth was actually really happening because I started thinking, what if this is happening for a reason? And I just don't know. And I don't understand it. And maybe I'm not supposed to be doing this business. And when I started thinking that way, everything changed. And I only saw this in hindsight. When I stepped away from the business and doing the day-to-day operations, I realized I didn't actually have a passion for that business. It was causing me enormous stress and it wasn't worth it. And it was completely different than what I had thought it was going to be. If I look at it that way, that failure actually led me back to being able to spend time on things that I really do love to do and things that am much better at. That's what we're talking about when we talk about confidence. It's not about never, it's about I was willing to try this business. I learned from it and I pivoted, and that all just adds to confidence. That experience taught me that sometimes what looks like a setback is actually setting me up for something that's better aligned to me. So, my question to you is, what setback are you facing right now that might actually be redirecting you to something different or something better? Remember, confidence isn't about never failing. It's about being willing to get back up and try again. Maybe it's in a completely different direction. I just want to give you 3 quick steps to make this idea of confidence actionable, and you can get started right now. So first of all, like we've been talking about, take action regardless of how you feel. Your feelings are going to lie to you. They aren't the truth. They're going to tell you, not yet, wait until you're ready, you don't know enough, what if this, what if that, what if you fail? And your mantra needs to be, I'm going to do it anyway. Next time you hear those voices and you're scared to, let's say, check on your bank account, set a timer for 3 seconds. And when it goes off, you open that account anyway. No feeling in the world is as powerful as the momentum you create through action. So let's take action. The second thing is be prepared by deliberate practice. Think of it as like training for a marathon. You don't just start running 26 miles. You start with 1 block and then a mile and then 2 miles. And then you work yourself up to 26 miles. Let's say you want to have more money confidence around investing in the stock market. You don't start by throwing your entire life savings in there. You start by investing like $50 in a low cost index fund. You learn the terminology, you watch the market, and you start to learn by doing little steps, not big, huge, scary steps. Maybe you start by reading financial articles, small, consistent steps building competency faster than big, massive ones. Then the third day is reframe and understand your why. Don't focus on what you're afraid of losing. Focus on what you're excited to gain. Instead of thinking, I might lose money if I invest, shift that to, I'm building wealth for my family's future. So, right now, take out a piece of paper and write down 3 specific ways your life will improve when you do the action that you want to take. And put it somewhere visible, like put it on a sticky note. And when that fear kicks in, you can automatically look at it and remember your why. And that can help you overcome those feelings. One trick that I do when I come upon a challenge in my life, I remember how every single challenge has shaped me to who I am today. And you have that as well. They weren't failures. They were like these building blocks, building confidence and helping me learn and grow. Think of something that you're really confident about in your life right now. Maybe you are a great presenter. Maybe you're great at golf. Was there a time, though, when that made you terrified, when you had never yet hit a golf ball or never yet presented in front of someone? But now you have all this confidence because you tried it and you kept preparing, practicing, trying, getting better, and now you're confident in your skills because you're confident through that action, not through waiting to feel ready. You can apply these same goals to your money confidence because if you have built confidence in one area of your life, you could absolutely build it in another area. If you're thinking to yourself, I've lost confidence, like maybe you had a money setback and you think you've lost confidence, I need you to hear this. You cannot lose confidence. What's really happening is you've stopped trying. And that's what's blocking you from feeling confident. The solution isn't to wait for confidence to return, it's to start taking action again. And I want to clarify this with Dan Sullivan's 4 C's, and I'll relate it to money confidence here in a minute. But the 4 C's are commitment, courage, capability, confidence. And they go in that order. So confidence is the last thing. It's not the first thing. So you start by being committed to what you're doing, whatever it is, your goal, your task, whatever, you're committed. And then because you're committed, you need to muster up courage, courage to do that thing, courage to take action, courage to put yourself out there. And as you have courage and you try things, you're developing your capability, or earlier we called it competency. And as you develop and become more capable and competent in that thing, that is where your competence comes from. So if we take this to a money topic, think of it like this. Let's say you are committed to getting out of $15,000 in credit card debt. You're not just wishing it away, you're setting a specific goal. I will be debt free in 24 months. That is something you're committed to. Then courageously, you need to face the scary step of opening all those bills you've been avoiding. You might need to have uncomfortable conversations with your partner or your family about spending. You might want to call creditors and negotiate your rates. You might need the courage to create a strict budget that doesn't feel restrictive. And then out of these courageous actions, you're learning capabilities. You're learning to track expenses. You're developing new skills. You're learning how to pay your bills off. You're building financial habits. You're learning to say no to unnecessary purchases. And out of these capabilities, you're building your money confidence, where you're going to feel in control of your finances. You're going to know exactly how to handle money challenges, and you're going to trust yourself to make good financial decisions, which is where the confidence comes in. Most people try to skip right to the confidence, but it's impossible without going through the other 3 C's first. It's like trying to be confident about riding a bike before you've ever committed to learn, to try, or even develop the skills or the capability to balance. But you don't need confidence to start. You need commitment and courage. Confidence is the reward of taking action. So remember, everyone, all of us start at zero. Whether it's learning to play the guitar, building a business, getting out of debt, all of those things. Nobody starts confident, But every time you try, every time you take the first step, you're building your confidence muscle. Courage comes first, and then confidence follows. So here's your challenge. Think of one thing you've been waiting to feel confident about your money situation, because now you know confidence isn't what you need to get started. Starting is what you need to build confidence. So thank you, friends. I hope I have convinced you that all of us can be more confident with our money, with our relationships, with every aspect in our life, if we're just willing to try. So if this episode helped you, please share it, subscribe, leave a rating and review. It helps get the word out so we can help others in a money setback find peace and momentum. And don't forget to visit hermoneycoach.com and subscribe to my free weekly newsletter. And if you have more ideas on how to build confidence, please put them in the comments.